Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me again today for another soaping session. Today we're going to be making an intention soap, the second of the series. Last month I put together a soap with love as the focus, but this month I'm zeroing in on abundance. To start this bar, I'm mixing up some colorant. Here I've got some green, which is Savage Garden from Nurture Soap. Next I've got white, which is titanium dioxide. And then third is our yellow, which is Lala from Mad Micas. Green is a color that is thought to promote natural abundance, and yellow promotes happiness, joy, and life, all of the things that I associate with abundance. Next, I'll be mixing up my soap batter, so I'm going to be pouring my lye into my oils, and both the lye and the oils are at about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This is my standard soap recipe, which you can purchase on my website, and I'm going to be blending until we get to emulsion. If you're not sure what emulsion looks like, and if your soap is still quite runny, there's a good trick to figure out if you're there. You just pick up your immersion blender out of the soap, let the batter drip off of the bell of the blender, and if it's all one consistency, you're at emulsion. But if you see any separation between the lye and the oil, or if it looks like it's kind of cracked or breaking apart, you're not there yet. Next, we're going to be coloring our batter. I'm pouring off about 40% for the green and about 15% for the yellow, and the remainder of it is going to be white or colored with titanium dioxide. These intention soaps are one of my favorite things to research and think about recently. I love making soap, and sometimes the design or the fragrance or even trying a new technique is enough to get me jazzed about making a loaf. But these intention loaves are something that I feel so drawn to. My dream is that one day I'll have a collection of these like on a shelf in my bathroom or something, all with different intentions, and if I feel like I need a pick-me-up in a certain area, I can pick up the bar, wash my hands with it very thoughtfully, very intentionally, and maybe even recite an affirmation to myself to try to reinforce that intention that I'm going for. I'd love to hear from you guys. Is this something that you find inspiring or something that you would use? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what you think about this idea. I'm going to be continuing it throughout the rest of the year, so regardless of what you comment, I'm going to move forward on this path, but I would love to hear your opinion on it. For our fragrance this time, we're going to be using an essential oil blend of patchouli and orange in a 2-to-1 ratio. Within magic, patchouli is a powerful money attractor, but it also has some pretty incredible properties as a standalone essential oil. For example, did you know that patchouli is actually a natural antibiotic, antimicrobial, and antifungal? It's also thought to be helpful for those with eczema or other skin sensitivities, headaches, the common cold, depression, and anxiety, among other things. It's pretty incredible stuff, regardless of where you fall on the pro or anti-patchouli spectrum. For this design, we're going to be doing an in the pot swirl. What this means is that we're going to be adding all of our colors back into the same container, and then we're going to pour that into the mold. In order for the swirls to not muddle into one another, we're going to need to thicken our batter to at least a thin trace, and I'm doing this here with an immersion blender. But you can also wait until the batter has thickened up naturally. Next, I'm going to be pouring all of my soap into the same container, but I'm going to be doing it in a more controlled manner than normal, pouring it down the side of the container into a Clyde slide where the colors layer on top of one another. Alternatively, if you're doing an in the pot swirl, you can just dump your soap into the same container, or sometimes you can put it into opposite sides. You can even use a spatula to stir it up a little bit if that's what you're going for. Now we pour. I chose to pour in a zigzag pattern up and down the length of the mold, but you can do whatever you like. Some people like to pour in one spot and let the soap spread throughout the mold, and others like to pour in a line down the center, but you can do any combination or invent your own way of pouring this into the mold. It's completely up to you. I'm making sure to scrape out all of the remnants, and then I'm going to need to wait a few minutes until it's ready to texture. I like to jiggle the mold a little bit to test the batter and see if it's firm enough to texture. Essentially, what you want to do is jiggle the mold, and if the soap is wobbling a whole bunch, it's too runny. And if the soap just jiggles a little bit, you're getting there. And if you wiggle the mold and it barely moves or has just started to stay completely put, you're ready to texture. This is a really hard thing to judge, and you'll get better over time, but I can honestly say that I'm still sometimes trying too early, and then I don't get the effect I'm looking for. So it's just better to wait and be patient, as hard as that is, and you'll get the best results. Just try not to forget about the soap, because then you're really not left with a choice. Now, I hardly ever put embeds or stones on my soap, but these intention bars were the perfect opportunity to try it out. So today I'm using green aventurine, which is a super beautiful stone that's known for bringing prosperity to its owner. It's also really calming, can promote happiness and comfort, and even bring its owner luck. So if you get one of these bars, make sure to keep this stone handy like all the time, because it's pretty much a powerhouse. If you've been watching me for some time, you probably have noticed that I'm not really a glitter kind of gal. Do I love sparkly things? Yeah. Do I even wear glitter eyeshadow when I get the chance? Heck yeah. But on my soaps, it's not usually right. In this case, however, glitter I felt was completely appropriate. This gold glitter is called Atomic 79. It's from Mad Micas, and it's got a really big chunk to it. And I thought it was the perfect addition to the top. It brought some magic as well as lucky vibes to the top of the soap. 24 hours later, we are ready to slice this loaf. I'm not sure why, but a lot of people really want to know about my soap cutting stuff, so if you want to check it out, you can take a gander at the links in the description box to see where I got mine. I'm surprisingly in love with how this bar came out, and I say surprisingly because I don't usually like an in the pot swirl, and this is going to sound awful, but it's sort of a low energy, medium yield kind of pour. You know, you get some really nice swirls in there, right? But nothing is super distinct and nothing is planned out. So that kind of boggles my mind a little bit because I am a planner when it comes to any of my designs or things that I do in life. Another reason I think I don't really like the in the pot swirl is that my batter is usually very fluid, and I know that I can wait and let it thicken up or blend it a little bit more to let it thicken up, but I tend to be impatient if I'm being completely honest, and I generally work with designs where the fluid batter is an advantage for me. So it feels kind of counterintuitive to try to make it thicken up so that I can do it. But based on how this design came out, I might be swayed to do more in the pot swirls because it really is a very easy pour as long as you have the right trace for your soap batter. And it's just a matter of really being patient and letting it thicken up, and then you get some really cool designs. A couple of these bars, I was able to capture those fun curlicue shapes that you can sometimes get with an in the pot swirl, and other ones just have some really fun variation throughout. All in all, I think that this was a complete success. I think this bar is beautiful, and I can't wait to use it. It's right now sitting on the curing rack, but I also have a bar set aside just for me so that when it's ready, I can start washing with it immediately. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful or inspiring. And if you liked it, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel to see future content. You can always check me out on Instagram as well, and you'll be able to see lots of really fun reels and photos that I post every single day. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I will see you in the next one, and until then, be well.